All right. Shares of Dupont down big today. This after the company defeated billionaire Nelson Peltz in a proxy fight. Investors disappointed, at least today. But should they be? Let's continue one of our hot topic discussions lately. Joining us once again, former Medtronic CEO Bill George, now a senior fellow at Harvard, and Jeff Sonnenfeld with the Yale School of Management. Both of these gentlemen are indeed gentlemen and CNBC contributors. And Jeff Sonnenfeld, listen, it's no secret you and Nelson Peltz have had your, I'll be fair, differences. You basically engaged in a battle of words recently. So take a step back, though. You're a professor now, right? Professorially, do you believe that, as maybe as hard as it is for you to admit, did Nelson Peltz do any good here for DuPont shareholders, even though he ended up losing the proxy fight?
No, I think Nelson Peltz made a big mistake in tactics and in target. And in tactics, I've never had any invective or any animosity towards Nelson Peltz. I think he's a very philanthropic person, and I think he's this is not the end of his career. He's just one week younger than Paul McCartney, who I saw in concert till quite late last night, who we hope has a very long career ahead of him. I have no malice towards him. He did attack, though, a lot of people, such as me and Bill George and anybody who had raised any questions about him, including DuPont board members, that the invective is not a good way to go. He should focus on the facts, and I applaud Ellen Coleman, what DuPont did, to just focus on the facts and not to get into those side stories. And then in Target, they just shouldn't be targeting strong, healthy companies. When Carl Icahn goes after a company like Chesapeake Energy, that reminds us why we still do need Carl, and we still need Nelson. We need activists out there. There are companies that underperform. Don't go for the strong companies. And I think that's what Bill George has pointed out, as I salute Bill on this show, as he's pointed out to the research engine that DuPont's had. Fortune has pointed out what an engine of profitability they have been in operations. And so there's a lot to salute here. But the board had the courage, the wherewithal to stand behind a transparent CEO of very high character, and right. I think that's the issue.
Bill, isn't the stock telling us that Nelson Peltz has won? Whether you take a look at the stock's reaction today or you take a look at the stock's reaction in the course of time during which Trian has been involved, doesn't the stock tell us that he has actually won this?
No, I don't think so. I think these are the speculators and short-term traders clearing out their position. Remember, it went up 4% with ISS when everyone thought he could get in and break up the company in 3 pieces, shut down research, and create some short-term value. Honestly, this is a victory for Ellen Coleman and her board of directors. And Ellen showed enormous courage throughout this entire process of staying with it, not compromising, not tearing apart her board or taking that great board chemistry. So kudos, and she's done all the right things. She's done everything in 6 years that any reasonable activist would do, any reasonable corporate turnaround person would do. I salute her for what she's done. I even wore a green tie today to say, because there's going to be long-term profits coming out of DuPont. It's also a seminal battle and a victory for all who believe, as I do and Jeff does, in creating long-term value for your shareholders, your employees, your customers, and your communities. And that's what DuPont is doing. So you'll see far better long-term appreciation in stock, if that's what you believe in. And remember that all the great value creators of the last 20 years are not activists, they're not hedge funds. They're people that invest for the long term, like Apple, like you mentioned Merck earlier, like former company Medtronic. So I think this was a real test for what I called the battle for the soul of corporate America. And congratulations to you, Jeff, for your tenacity.
Oh, I salute you, Bill. I know we've had to take on some personal attacks just by being independent, objective voices on this matter. But Bill, as you respond to Mandy's question just on the finances, earlier on CNBC, there's a very interesting discussion just about how this company in recent years has had 5% falls, one-day falls in stock price 10 times, and it has soared past that each time, suggesting that this is a buying opportunity. I'm not an analyst to advise you on that, but certainly this just could be a very encouraging dip for others to get on board.
Bill and Jeff, we got to leave it there. Guys, thank you very much. Good discussion. And the good news, Melissa, is that we do actually have